Well, that was an incredibly unfortunate thing that I crashed. So we are back at square one, but we will. I think what we will do is just jump right back into the game. We will have to draw our hands and stuff like that again, but what can you do? Sometimes these things happen. Fortunately, it has not happened that often to me in the past. So we will draw our opening hands here for Roland Banks and Joe Diamond, and hopefully we can do better than we did last time. So we have a shortcut, a machete, a pathfinder, a guts, and a logical reasoning. Don't really like many of those cards except the pathfinder and the logical reasoning. So we'll draw 3 more. There's an overpower, chronophobia. Hi Tim, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Yeah, we had a crash and everything went down like a ton of bricks. And I did avoid the temptation to swear like a sailor, but yeah, that is a kick in the teeth, I tell you. So we are drawing our hand for Joe. Well, there's our haunted, so we'll just get rid of that right now. There's a vicious blow, another vicious blow, an unexpected courage, a take. Did I shuffle this? I don't think I shuffled this. Yes, it is good to be back. Hopefully this one will work. If we go down again, I probably will not. We will not. I don't think I'll be back if we go down again. Yeah, Juicy, I get. Every winter it seems I get bronchitis at least once, and it is a tenacious bronchitis. I'll tell you that. It lingers like nobody's business. So we got Joe actually did very well here. We got the death card, so that can go right into play. It's not an item, so yeah, we can play that. We got a couple of machetes and a gun. Those will go away, and we got Mylan Christopher, so we have a lot more intellect than we did before. So we get to 3 more cards. There's a take the initiative, a beat cop, and a vicious blow. So not bad. Not too bad. So hopefully we can make it through this game. Cross our fingers here. All right. Well, we're going to go Roland. I guess Roland doesn't have. We didn't get any allies. So we're going to use. I need to put my stuff on here. We get 7 because we started with. We pulled that astounding revelation with stick to the plan. We have 3 mental and 2. 3 physical and 2 mental. And he has 5 and 3 physical. All right. So we need to grab these 2 clues and then move on is our plan here. So we played, I think we'll play the Pathfinder first to get that free movement. We do get to start with the death card in play, so that bumps our intellect to 3. And what else do we want to do with Roland? I think Roland wants to draw some cards here. We need an ally. There's a guts. And there's a vicious blow. So no ally yet. We do have both copies of Inquiring Mind, however. That's nice. I think our friend Joe here, we are going to play our first ally. We'll get Dr. Mylan Christopher down to bump ourselves up to 4. And we're going to need to draw a couple cards if we want to get to 5 so we can use that higher education. So I think we'll do that. Basically just take a setup turn here to get things going. There's an unexpected courage, nice 2 wild icons there, and a magnifying glass, which we cannot play until we get we advance until this agenda 1A advances. So we are going to be in a position to investigate next turn. We go to upkeep. Joe gets an emergency cash. That is awfully nice. Those resources will come in very handy with higher education. And of course, Roland draws cover up. So we have our weakness in play right off the bat. Of course, we need to discover many clues, and then we can discard clues from cover up instead. Otherwise, we take a mental trauma. I do not want to do that at a 4-shroud location. That is tough enough as it is. So we will be looking for some low shroud locations where we can hit that up. All right, we're going to the first Mythos phase of the game. We have Roland is first up, so he will draw. We draw the Scholar from Yith. Hi, David. Glad you could make the stream again here tonight. Yeah, it's we're doing a bit more streaming, and I have a playthrough hopefully planned for tomorrow that I'll be recording. So lots of stuff coming in the next couple days. The Scholar from Yith is prey most cards in hand. When Scholar from Yith attacks you, discard 2 random cards from hand. If the Scholar from Yith is ready and engaged with you, parlay test 3 to attempt to pass as a member of the creature's race. If you succeed, draw a card and evade the Scholar from Yith. If you fail, Scholar from Yith attacks you. So Roland has the Scholar to deal with. Joe has Frozen in Fear, which sucks. But Roland does have a copy of Guts in his hand that we can commit to that to hopefully get rid of it. Now, I sort of feel it would be easier for Joe to deal with the Scholar. Could try to parlay with him. Or we just try to kill him. We do have a Vicious Blow, so we could go 4 versus 2, maybe commit an additional card. We've got a couple Vicious Blows and an Overpower, so yeah, we can kill that guy in one shot if necessary. But first we want to do some investigating. We've got that take the initiative we could use, but I want to save that. We are at 4 versus 4 with all our bonuses, so we want to be 3 up. So I think as our first action, I am going to play the emergency. Joe will play the emergency cash for 3 resources. Whoops. There we go. He is going to investigate. He will investigate. So we're going 4 versus 4. I think we'll spend 2 resources to go 8 versus 4. Chaos Bag says -2, so we do grab a clue. The Frozen in Fear does not trigger, so that's fine. We will do it one more time, spending another 2 resources for higher education, and we will go 8 versus 4. Chaos Bag gives us a Elder Thing, which is a -2, and if we fail, we place a clue on our location. We did not fail, so we get that clue. It is the end of Joe's turn. We have to test 3 willpower. Let us put Roland will commit a Guts to that. So we will be going 6 versus 3. That's pretty good. That's where we want to be. We want to be 3 up. Chaos Bag, of course, throws the -5 at us for the first time this game. That absolutely dreadful -5 that has been the undoing of many of my games, it seems. So we are stuck under the effects of Frozen by Fear for the time being. Roland. So he is 2 versus 2. We could commit the overpower. We want to commit. Problem with Vicious Blow is it only gets us up to 4 versus. It only gives us 2, which puts us at 4-2, but I want to be really at 5. Gonna commit the overpower and the Vicious Blow. So we're gonna go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 2. Chaos Bag says -1, and we kill this Scholar from Yith. And we get to draw a card for the overpower, which is another logical reasoning. So we've got 2 cards with 4 willpower icons on them, and 2 with 3 wild icons on them. Okay, so we've got our Pathfinder out. So during our turn, we can move to a connecting location for free. So we will use our Pathfinder to move to the Halls of Nakota's Eastern Corridor. It is a 3-shroud location with 1 clue. No, I don't get to remove a clue for killing the monster, unfortunately. Because Roland doesn't have his special abilities. And yeah, cover up his you've got to discover clues, not kill enemies. Unfortunately, David. That would be awesome if you could get rid of those stupid clues by killing enemies. That would be less of a problem. We have got 2 actions left. We might as well do some more exploring here. We will use our next action to move into this interview room. It is a 2-shroud location. This is the arrival chamber. 2-shroud location, 0 clues. After you begin your turn in this location, if there is a Yithian enemy in this location, draw a card. So no reason to stay here. We will move back out. So next turn we can ready our Pathfinder and move into the other interview room. That is our turn. Roland draws a beat cop. That is excellent. Excellent. And unfortunately, Joe drew his other copy of Death, the tarot card, which is great at the beginning of the game in this particular scenario, but it is terrible at every time after because it has no icons. So it is you can't double nothing, unfortunately. So we will go to the next Mythos phase. Roland is going to draw a Captive Mind. Test 0 willpower. Regardless of whether this skill test succeeds or fails, choose and discard all but X cards from your hand. X is your modified skill value for this test. Test 0. Regardless of whether the skill test succeeds or fails, choose and discard all but X cards from your hand. X is your modified skill value for this test. So I have a 2. So I don't want to commit anything to that. Is that what I'm reading here? Test willpower 0. Regardless of whether this skill test succeeds or fails, choose and discard all but X cards from your hand. X is your modified skill value for this test. All right. So we'll go 2 versus 0. And we draw an auto fail. So that's 0. So I'm not entirely sure what happens here. This card is confusing me for some reason. I want to mod it a lot. Well, I didn't mod it at all and I drew an auto fail, so... Oh, it's all but X cards. Oh, I see now. Yeah, okay. Discard all but X cards. Oh, I understand now. So X is the modified skill value of this test. So my value is 0, so I have to discard all but 0 cards. Yeah, so that's pretty awful. Well, I'm glad I didn't commit anything to it because, yeah, that would have just been... I didn't commit anything to it, but I do lose a lot of... I lose a ton. That really hurts. That hurt a lot. Not a good card to auto-fail on. Let's see what Joe gets. Joe gets Crypt Chill. That's not great either. 4 willpower. We've got... We're at 2. We could go 6. We could go 8 versus 4. With Take the Initiative. Chaos Bag says -1, so we are okay there. But yeah, that was bad. Poor Roland lost his entire hand that particular turn. Okay. It was an auto fail though, so there's nothing I can do about that. Well, we need to draw some cards, I think, for Roland so we can get back on track here. So I think what we'll do, we will use his Pathfinder to Pathfinder over to this interview room. It's a 1 shroud location with 1 clue per investigator. After you Oh, Jesus Christ. After you enter this location, test 3 willpower. Take 1 horror for each point you fail by. Goes to show how often I've played this. This is going to be brutal. So he is going to probably take 3 horror right here. Oh, and he draws an Elder Sign. So I get +2, so I actually pass this. Way to go, Roland. You're the best Yithian ever. So Roland miraculously passes this, and he gets to draw a card, which is his weakness. Funny. Okay, so we draw a Chronophobia. We've got 2 actions remaining. I guess I know what we're going to do with those 2 actions. So I guess we'll just get rid of the Chronophobia. That takes care of that. Actually, no, we Pathfindered in, so we have 1 action remaining. I guess we'll just use that to draw a card. We have no more... Oh, we get a gun, but guns don't help us all that much right now. So, yeah, that was... Roland is struggling at the moment. Joe can get... We can't quite get the Beat Cop down, and we're under Frozen from Fear, so our first move is going to cost us 2 actions. So we will move. Now, is it after you enter this location? Okay, so we need to save. Well, we've got an Unexpected Courage, so we could move in there now, pitch the Courage, and that would, or we've got resources. If we use the resources, we can actually use Higher Education to help us try to pass. Okay, I'm going to move in. Sure, let's do it. So we move in. We've got to pass. We're at 2 versus 3. We'll go 4 versus 3, 6 versus 3 to pass this this skill test here. We get a skull. That is a -3. So we're okay. We pass this test. We don't take any horror on the ichor-filled chamber. It's the end of our turn, so now we can try to pass Frozen in Fear. So we'll commit the Unexpected Courage. I should have had resources from Christopher. I should have 2 resources from him because we did pass these 2 tests up here last turn. I have to keep on top of that because that's important, especially with higher education out. So we're going 6 versus 3 to pass Frozen in Fear. Chaos Bag gives us another skull, so that's a minus. That's only -1 now because we don't have 5 cards in our hands. So we do get rid of the Frozen in Fear. Now this is a pretty good location, I think, to get rid of this cover up. So I think we'll do that here. It's a 1 shroud location. Joe's got a 4. He can clear that in 1. No, I'm playing Broken Mylan. This is a non-taboo compliant deck. Yeah, so that's the turn. I figure these boys have it hard enough without taboo getting in the way. So whoa, calm down there. Joe draws a magnifying glass and Roland draws a vicious blow. Okay, so we go to the next Mythos phase. 3 of 5. Roland draws another Scholar from Yith. Joe draws an obscuring... jeez! There goes our perfect place to investigate. But if we can do it once, we can keep doing it. So, what do we have here? We've got vicious blows all round. So we could kill this Scholar quite easily. We'd be at 4 versus 2. I think we'll wait on that for a second. I'm going to do some investigating first. We've got 5 cards, so that's fair game. So we're at 4 versus 3. We can go... for 2 more, so we go 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3 to investigate. Chaos Bag gives us a 0. So I will trigger Mylan to get that back, and we get rid of this. I get a clue, but I'm going to use that to get that off to deal with the cover-up. We're going to do another investigate. Now we're going 4 versus 1. Chaos Bag gives us a tablet. That's a -3, so we succeed. Again, I'm going to deal with cover-up. Now, I don't know whether I should clear cover-up because we've got 16 cards. If we have to reshuffle at some point, we're going to have to deal with cover-up again. But is it just better to get it out of my way, and if we draw it again, we draw it again. There's not like we're only 1 investigate check away from clearing it. So maybe I keep it around. So last action, we gain another resource, and last action we will investigate 4 versus 1, and we get a +1. This time I will take the clue. So we will be able to clear this next turn. So our Yithian friend here And we get another resource. Scholar from Yith. I just want to kill him. Oh, cover up doesn't get discarded. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, well then I will clear it next turn, and we'll just grab the clue in advance. That's thank you, Alexander. That's a good point. Cover up does not get discarded, so we can. It will just stay in our threat area, and we don't have to worry about it. Let's kill the Yithian. It's just a matter of what we want to contribute to this death. We could go 4 versus 2 with the vicious blow. I'm not crazy about that, but 4 versus 2. Chaos bag. -3, of course. Yeah. -3. Oh, that was Joe's vicious blow. Roland has one too, but this guy has retaliate. Oh no, he only retaliates if you attempt to talk to him. I feel like I've got to go 3 up here. So we'll commit that. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 2. Chaos bag, that is a -2, so he will die. We've got 1 action remaining. Let's draw a card. We get an art student, and we will keep on trucking. So that was that. We get a calling in favors. That's awfully nice. We can bounce the art student back to our hand and get another clue, or get a beat cop possibly. We go to the next Mythos phase, turn 5. Roland draws Cruel Interrogations. Put it into play in your threat area. If an investigator has interviewed a subject, take 1 horror, and Cruel Interrogations gain surge. You cannot take draw actions. Test 2 willpower. If you succeed, discard Cruel Interrogations. So we cannot take draw actions. Joe. We have a locked door. Oh, for Pete's sakes. And of course, oh, most clues. So we can attach it here. We don't have to deal with it right away. We can attach it, get it out of our way, so we can clear this location. Oh, and we drew Haunted. Nice, nice. Okay, well that's Joe drew Haunted during the last Mythos phase, so of course he's -1 to all his skills. So now we're going only 3 versus 1 for this test here. So let's go, let's take, we're not going to be able to clear it this turn now. Let's take the double action to get rid of Haunted. Then we'll take an investigate action at 4 versus 1. Chaos Bag gives us a skull, which is a -1. So we will clear cover up, and then we will be in position next turn to clear this up. We will go to Roland. What do we want to do here? We can grab the clue. Roland can move away now. Let's do that. So he's going to move here. Then we're going to, actually we can do that for free. Let's do this right. We'll move here for free. We're going to use the art student. We'll play the art student to discover this clue behind the locked door. Now we... Oh, thanks, Juicy. Thank you very much for sending me some more questions. I will be recording the Q&A episode here probably next week, I think. That's great. Thank you very much. So we've dealt with the locked door. Now we can advance. So let's do that. We have 4 clues. So we advance to Act 1B, Finding Our Way. Put each set-aside location into play. Great Library, Laboratory of the Great Yace, blah, 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 blah. So we have that, 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 and that, and that. And this is connected to that. And this is connected to that. And these are connected to the north one, I believe. Let me see here. What am I doing wrong here? Oh yeah, laboratory is connected to the orrery and the deconstruction room, and the laboratory is connected to the north. Okay. Yeah, David, I should keep my mouth shut is what I should do, because every time I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. This will be a great idea. And then, of course, it's like, well, actually, no, you're not going to do that. And the chaos bag finds some way to thwart me. Choose one of those locations at random. Put the set-aside custodian asset into play at the randomly chosen location. Each copy of Yithian Observer is no longer aloof. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll just roll a random number, 1 to 5. We get 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The custodian is in the Tower of Nakotas. Right. So that is done. So now we have to do a bunch of stuff. Now we have to do at least 3 of the following, but the more we can do, the better. So if 3 are done, we advance automatically, and if we get more than this done, we're in much better shape come the end. So we need to found the process, dissected an organ, interviewed a subject, realized what year it is, activated the device, and control the custodian. We know that interviewing the subject is right here, and we want to get the custodian, who is here, and then the others are up here in these 3 in these locations. So we know what our job is. We just have to do it now. So we need, what do we do if the custodian is not controlled by a player? Test 3 to converse. So we can go grab, if the custodian is not controlled by a player, parlay test 3 to converse with the librarian. If you succeed, place one of your clues on him. So we have to go get some clues. I believe it's 2 clues. Is it per investigator? Yeah, so we need 2 clues before we can do anything with the custodian, but we have plenty of options for that. I think we are going to head... we can... I don't really want to discard a card from my hand because I don't have a lot of cards in my hand. So let's move Roland. So what are my options here? Find the process. Dissect an organ. I think Roland... I want to sort of keep them together because Joe doesn't really have a lot of combat options at the moment. Not that Roland does anyway. either. So if we move, where do we move? We could go north to the Laboratory of the Great Race. So we would go here and here. Two shroud location with 2 clues. If there are no clues on the Laboratory of the Great Race, test 3 agility to manipulate the controls on the technological device nearby. If you succeed, remember that you have activated the device. If you fail, place a clue on the laboratory. Okay, so we can do that once we get these clues, of course. And I think that's going to be our turn. So we want to get... Yeah, Joe wants to get that beat cop out quickly to give him some extra oomph in the combat department. Joe draws a Pathfinder. That's awfully nice. And Roland draws a Eureka, which has a bunch of icons on it, including the agility icons we need for this test to activate the device. Next Mythos phase. We are advancing. All right, each investigator searches the top 9 cards of his or her deck for up to 2 item assets and draws them. So we will look at the top 9 cards of Roland's deck. 2 item assets. We get a machete and a gun. And there's another machete in there, but we'll take the machete. And Roland will do that as well. He gets a gun and a machete as well. So we've got the weapons. Roland is slowly rebuilding his hand. And if the custodian is in play and not controlled by an investigator, move it to the location with the most clues on it. So he zips up here? Okay. That's interesting. So I guess we're going to deal with him up here. Okay. So now we need to... we've got 7. Our maximum hand size is reduced by 2. We've got 7 turns. All right. Roland's card is a Dissonant Voices, so we're not playing assets or events. Joe's card is the Scientist of Yith. He spawns at the Laboratory of the Great Race. Of course he does. Hey, he's a tough guy too. So if we activate the device or dissect an organ, he loses aloof and gains Hunter. So he's just sitting up here for the time being. But we will eventually have to deal with him. But I think we could kill him. How are we doing for vicious blows? I think we're all out of vicious blows, but we've got weapons, so... and that is our turn. Okay, so we need to get... we need to get Joe up there. So we could move him once... Or we could play our Pathfinder. Play the Pathfinder. Use the Pathfinder to move for free. We will move again. And move again. So we're all in the Laboratory of the Great Race. with our friend, the custodian. So we can parlay with him. Marcus, there's no hunch deck in this. That's the nice thing about Joe in this game is I can't forget the hunch deck because he doesn't have a hunch deck. Because he doesn't have his special ability. I'm fairly certain. Yep. Yeah. He doesn't have a... I'm not playing with him, so he doesn't hunch. Joe, Roland, what do we do with you? Now, we want to grab these 2 clues. We also want to kill this guy. We can't play weapons right now. Activated the device or dissected an organ. That's fine, but we could go maybe to the Yithian orrery and do something there. Pathfinder's engaged with you. Yes, so we can Pathfinder over to the Yithian orrery. It's a 4-shroud location with 1 clue. And if there are no clues on it, we can realize what year... Oh, there are 2 clues, sorry. If there are no clues on it, we can realize what year it is. 4 shroud, that's going to be a bit tough for Roland to deal with. Considering we don't have a lot of intellect icons. We've got lots of weapons to deal with. But we can't play assets or events at this time. We could go 4-4 with Eureka, but that seems pretty... Those odds aren't great. Or our option, and I think a good one here in this circumstance, is we play 1 for calling in favors to bounce the art student back to our hand. And then we get to look at the top 9 cards for an ally asset and play it. But we can't play assets. Yeah, I just see that. Voices will stop that. So we can't do that either. Well, what is Roland to do? I think we'll just move him back here. And maybe we try to get rid of this cruel interrogations since we don't have much else to do at the moment. I think we can commit the Eureka to that. No, yeah, it's a skill. It's not an event. So we can go 4 versus 2. Does he have anything to help us? No. So we're going to go 4 versus 2. Not great odds, but let's see what happens. Chaos Bag says 0. So we succeed. So we get rid of this cruel intentions. Then we will search the top 3 cards of our deck for a card and draw it. So not the most productive turn for Roland, but we have the choice of a guts. I think we'll take the guts. We need those willpower icons. And that will be his turn. So not the most productive turn, but we can do some magic next turn with Joe. He can drop 2 magnifying glasses, and we can go to 6 willpower, 6 intellect, and grab a couple, and then head over to the orrery and grab a clue, and then realize what year it is. And then we can probably get this custodian, and that puts us at 2 of the 3. Then I think we want to kill this scientist, and then we can do so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the interview room. I think that's a plan. What do we draw? Joe draws a Pathfinder, and Roland draws I've Had Worse. Good. We had a Doom. Hand size is by 2, so we're at 7 or 6. Sorry, I think everybody's no. We got too many in. Roland has too many cards, but that's easy enough. We can just get rid of the death card. We've added a Doom. Roland draws the Yithian Observer. This goes away. He is going to be tough to kill. Joe draws the Keeper of the Great Library. He goes to the Great Library. And if we find the process or realize what year it is, he gains aloof and loses aloof and gains hunter. So once we find out what year it is, he's going to be coming after us. So, how are we going to deal with this issue? We have a guy but no weapon. We have no weapon. So we go 3. Let's see here. What does he have? Yeah, we don't have a lot of. So if we take an attack of opportunity, we'd still only be going up 3 versus 4 versus the Yithian Observer, and we'd have to discard a card at random from our hand. We're a little shy on combat icons at the moment. Joe could give him some. He could give him 2. 4, 5. Yeah, 5 versus 4 isn't great. We could try to evade it. Unfortunately, it's at this location, which is really annoying. Consider dragging him somewhere out of the way and evading him. Hi, Piano Potato. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. We are attempting to make our way through City of Archives with Roland and Joe, a couple of city-slicking Yithians who are caught on Nakotas. If I pull the Yithian Observer somewhere else, 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do that. Like put him in the deconstruction room. Because I've got a shortcut. I could shortcut there, dump him in the deconstruction room, try to evade him. And if I evade him, then we don't have to worry about him for the rest of the game. Because he doesn't have... Do they get Hunter? No, they don't. They just lose aloof. So that might be a good way to deal with him in the short term. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dump him out of the way. So let's play the shortcut from stacked on stick to the plan. We're going to move ourselves over here to the deconstruction room. Flip that over. It's a 3-shroud location with 2 clues. And we can test 4 combat to attempt to retrieve a valuable organ from one of the alien cadavers. It gets +1 difficulty for each clue on the deconstruction room. But we just want to dump him in there. So we need to pass a agility skill test. He's a 3, we're a 2. We can go 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 3. I like those odds. Chaos Bag gives us a -1, so he is evaded. And he is in the deconstruction room, which is nice and out of the way. Then we can use our Pathfinder to get out of there. And we can use an action to play the machete. So now we've got a little more combat working for us. I would really like a beat cop. That would put us at 4. That would be very nice. We've got 1 action remaining. We could go 2 versus 2, but that's not going to get us anything. If we're going to engage the scientist, we need to engage and hit him twice. So we need to be pretty sure we can kill him when we need to. What else can we do here? I think we're just going to draw a card. We get an overpower. Okay, so we've got a few more combat icons to work with. Now Joe, he has some good options here. We can go magnifying glass, for free. We boost our intellect to 6 when we investigate. We can get this guy next turn. We can take control of the... Oh, we need 2 clues. Sorry, we need 2 clues first. So we need these 2 clues, and then we need to place 2 clues on the custodian. So that's going to take us 2 actions. So let's investigate. 6 versus 2. Chaos Bag says -2, so we grab a clue. We will do it one more time. 6 versus 2. We get an auto fail. One more time. 6 versus 2. We get a -3. So we get both those clues. So now next turn we can get the custodian. And we can start to deal... We can get this... we can activate the device. Then we can go to the orrery and realize what year it is. That will give us 3. Then we might be... Yeah, the dissection room is rough. We could go over here to the interview room and get 4. and hopefully be in a position to finish it off. We also got 2 resources from Mylan. All right, so not bad. We got rid of the Yithian observer. He was going to be a real thorn in our side. Roland draws, draws a steadfast. And Roland draws another copy of I've Had Worse too, so that's good. We go to the next Mythos phase. Two of 7. Everybody's hand size is okay. Roland draws Rotting Remains. Rotting Remains. I could guts this, or I can just soak the damage. I think we guts it. So we go 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, and we draw a card. We get a Eureka. And Joe gets another Frozen in Fear. I can't remember, was it last game or this game that we got the Frozen in Fear? Okay, so not the worst. Not the worst Mythos phase ever. So we need to take 2 actions to get this guy. Do we have... Yeah, we've got 5 cards, so we can use some of our massive resources to boost us up if necessary. So Joe is going to go... he is a 4 versus 3. He will spend a resource to go 6 versus 3 on the parlay. We get a tablet. That's a -3. So it's important we stay at least -3 because that tablet will get us. So we place a clue on him. Let's do it one more time and spend another resource. So we're at 6 versus 3. There's an auto fail. And we'll do it one more time. 6 versus 3. And we get the -5. Oh, freak's sakes. Well, it was a nice try. But, yeah, auto fail and a -5. That's not great. Not much we can do about that. Now, Roland. I think we should try to kill this Yithian. Then we can activate the device. This guy also... No, he's the year. Okay, so if this guy goes off, we can activate the device. So I think Roland is going to engage this guy. What was my plan here? Oh yes, we have an overpower. So we can go... We are at 3 versus 4. We can go 7 versus 4 for 2 damage with the overpower. Okay. Chaos Bag gives us another tablet, so yep, that -3. We're staying right at that -3 threshold, and that's really helping us out here. We draw a card for the overpower, and he takes 2 damage. I forgot to test for Frozen in Fear for Joe, so we'll do that after we finish this off here. We need to kill this guy. Steadfast. He could throw a Steadfast in there. And that would gain... That would be a ton of icons. So it'd be 6 combat skill icons. So we'd be at 9 versus 4. Chaos Bag says +1, of course, but that's fine. We end up killing this Yithian. And we've cleared that location. All right, we need to test for Frozen in Fear. We're going... we can't use our... we can go 2 versus 3. I think we just wait this turn out. We can try again next turn to get rid of the Frozen in Fear once we draw a card, and we can deal with the Frozen in Fear that way. So we'll just go 2 versus 3. Chaos Bag says -3. So yeah, we weren't going to pass that regardless. And that is our turn. So we can now activate the device. We have a shot at activating the device, and we have a shot we can gain the Custodian. So that's 2 of the 3. Then we could go to the orrery and realize what year it is. Then we can go to the interview room restraining chamber and interview the subject, and that will give us 4. And hopefully that will be enough. 5 would be better, but we'll see. We'll see how much time we have. So upkeep, Roland draws a Pathfinder, and Joe draws a Logical Reasoning. So we could play that to get rid of the 2 horror on on Roland. All right, so we go to the next Mythos phase. 3 of 7. Roland draws an Offer of Power. So I must... Excuse me. So I must either choose to draw 2 cards and place 2 Doom on the current agenda, or take 2 Horror. I think I take 2 Horror, because we have the Logical Reasoning. Actually, yeah, we've got I've Had Worse too. So we can take the 2 Horror, cancel that, and gain 2 resources. So we will do that instead. So that's no harm. And Joe will draw... He gets a Scholar from Yith. Okay. So far we're doing okay, I think. I don't know. It's hard to tell with this one. I always find the end of this one is like incredibly tense. So we'll see. We'll see how we do here. I think Roland will simply engage the Scholar of Yith and try to kill it. So Roland will engage the Scholar of Yith off of Joe. So we are hitting 3 versus 2. Joe can pitch... Joe will pitch his machete to give him +2. So he goes 3, 4, 5 versus 2. Chaos Bag says tablet again. Wow. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of being 3 up in this one, because that tablet has shown up at least 3 times, and we have spiked it every time by being 3 up. So Roland kills that guy. Now we need to pass this agility skill test. Can we do that? We have a lot of agility skill icons in our hands. So let's give it a try. Joe will commit a Pathfinder for 2. Roland will commit a Eureka for 2. So we're at 6 versus 3. I'm going to commit my other path. We both have Pathfinders out, so I'm going to commit another Pathfinder to go 8 versus 3. Chaos Bag gives us the -5. Take that! Yes! Not this time. Not this time. I could sense it. I could sense the -5 was just there waiting to get me. And this time we trumped it by going 8 versus 3. So take that, -5. So we have successfully... is it once per test? Oh, limit once per test. Okay. All right. So that would be... So we would have gone... Let me recalculate this. Maybe we didn't get it. Yeah, I don't think we did, because we would have gone 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 3. No, I don't pass. I come up 1 short. No, I'm pretty sure I don't. I come up 1 short. So I would have been, yeah, 2, 4, 5. I don't think I had another. Oh, I did have 1 more. But yeah, that's fine. We'll just take it. So yeah, we fail that. And we'd have to drop a clue. Oh, we have to place a clue on it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, the -5. I thought we trumped it there, but alas, no. All right. Joe will attempt to grab this clue. He's going 6 versus 2. Chaos Bags is -3, so that clue is ours again. He will parlay with the Custodian. So we are... Oh, now we're down again. 4 versus 3. No, I need to draw a couple cards and not use them on... All right. Next turn we'll get the Custodian. This is always what happens. It's always like next turn, next turn, next turn. And it never gets done. Roland gets another machete and Joe gets an emergency cash. We also need to test for, but we were just going 2 versus 3 on that, and we fail for Mythos phase. Turn 10, Roland draws another Rotting Remains. We're going 2 versus 3. That's fine. We get a -5 again, so we will play our last I've Had Worse 2 to gain 2 resources and cancel the damage. And Joe draws a Cruel Interrogations. He cannot take draw actions. Okay. So we need to do this stupid test. Unfortunately, we needed a clue at our location to use Inquiring Mind there. So now we have now we're up to... we are at 4 versus... I should have gained a resource from Mylan last turn. We can spend on this parlay test. We are at 4 versus 3. We can go 6 versus 3, 7 versus 3. I'm not going to make any mistakes. I'll spend another one to go 9 versus 3. Oh, for Pete's sakes, with the auto fail on trumped tests. There's one token in the bag that breaks me, and that's the one. All right, let's try it again. I'll spend 3 resources to go 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. 4 plus 2, 4, 6 is 10 versus 3. We get a 0. Finally. Okay. So we drop another clue on the custodian. He joins us. We have one of these things. So when the investigation phase begins, if you control the custodian, each investigator at its location draws a card. Now, I think we can also try to... we can go 3, 4, 5, 6... we'll go 2, 4. Yeah, that's right, Juicy. It is. Oh, man. I hate when I have it trumped and it beats me. 2, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll go 7 versus 3. That's the best we can do. 7 versus 3 on this test to activate the device. Chaos Bag says, oh, for fuck's sakes! I know there are other tokens in the bag besides the auto fail in the -5, but man, oh man. This is getting ridiculous. If I lose this game, it's this stupid frickin' location that's gonna do it. What do I have left? Man, maybe we go... Shoot, and I spent all my resources. I think I'm going to Pathfinder over here. And might as well investigate. We're going 4 versus 6 versus 4. We get a +1. Where was that +1 earlier? We get a resource from Mylan. I've got a test for Frozen in Fear. So we're going 2 versus 3 again. Chaos Bag says -2. Now what can Roland do? Jesus. I don't know what I have. I've only got 3 cards left in my deck. I need some icons. I need some agility icons. Because we're only at 2 versus 3. Let's draw some cards. There's a shortcut. There's one icon. There's an art student. And we're going to reshuffle. There's a beat cop. There's another icon. I need that beat cop though. I need the beat cop. So we take a horror. And we reshuffle. Okay. I get an I've had worse for Roland, and Joe gets his other copy of Dr. Mylan Christopher. All right. We're at 5 of 7 Doom. Roland draws a dissonant voices, so no assets or events. Joe draws the bad one. Fortunately, we have plenty of icons at our disposal. So we are at 2, 6, so 2, 8 versus 0. We get a -2. So we're at 6 versus 0, so we keep our hand. Not letting that happen again. Okay. So we have a couple of icons. We could commit 3. We could go 2, 4. Yeah, again, we could do it. So Joe is going to try to investigate here. 6 versus 4. We'll go 8 versus 4. Actually, yeah, we'll go 8 versus 4. Chaos Bag says -2. So we grab this clue. We're going to take the double action to realize what year it is. Oh, we would have gotten a card too. Cannot take draw actions, but we do get a card from the custodian. So we get a shortcut. Okay, that's good. So we take the double action to realize what year it is. So we've got 2 out of the 3 we need. And then he's going to Pathfinder back. And we're going to test. That's fine. I'm not going to test. We'll just go 3 versus 2. We hit a +1. Finally, yay! We break the frozen in fear. All natural. No, that's what +1s are for. You can draw a +1 occasionally and not a -5 or an auto fail. Roland. Now we can't do anything until we get that clue, but Roland wants to. Oh, we can't do that. We can't. No, we can't do that either. We can just draw some cards, I think. Hand size is currently what, at 8? Is it 6? So we can go 1. That's the most we can do because we're going to have to discard. But we could go 4 versus 2 to grab this clue with a Eureka. No, we need that Eureka. We need the art student. 4 versus 2. Chaos bag. Auto fail, of course. I'll just draw another card, I think. We get a logical reasoning. All right. Roland draws a Calling in Favors. And Joe draws another Beat Cop. That thing is gone. We go to the Mythos phase. 6 of 7 Doom, turn 12. Roland draws Lost Humanity. Test 5 willpower for each point you fail by. Remove the top card of your deck from the game. If there are fewer than 10 total cards in your hand, deck, and discard pile, you are driven insane. Yeah, no, I don't like that. Let's commit a logical reasoning to that so we can go 6 versus 5. 2, 4, 6 versus 5. Do we have anything here? He can go another 4. So we can go 10 versus 5. Chaos bag says -2, so that is defeated. And Joe draws another Cruel Interrogations. Okay. Okay. So now we can try to, we've got 2 of the 3. Who do we want to go and do this with? Joe. I think let's do Joe first because we want to grab this clue, then we want to pass this stupid freaking test. And then we want to run everywhere we can get back here to get our 4th. Or we could move in and kill the observer and try to do this one. What are our odds against the observer? We'd be 4. If we drop a Beat Cop, we would be at 4. Four versus 4, but no real icons to contribute to it. Yeah, that's not great. Let's let Joe go first. We're going to go 6 versus 2 to grab this clue. We get an Elder thing that's -2, so we grab this clue yet again. Gain another resource. Oh, and he gets a card because we've got the custodian, and he gets a card because we've got the custodian. Okay. So who's going to do it? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 3. Or we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 3. Yep, it's got to be Joe who does it. Joe's got to do it, and we got to ditch everything to it. So the shortcut, the beat cop and the beat cop. So he is going 2, 4, 5, 6, and Roland commits 7, 8 versus 3. So we're going 8 versus 3. If this is an autofill, I'm going to lose my shit. -3. All right, finally. So we activate the device after a great deal of problems. And we get to search the top 3 cards. Or is it him? Yeah, he gets to draw the top 3 cards. We will take logical reasoning. All right. Now we can go back. First we have to advance because we found 3 of them so far. All right. You no longer have to perform any of the following tasks. However, the more you perform by the time the scenario ends, the easier the transition to your human body will be, and the less likely the process is to fail or backfire. Place this act in the victory display with this side face up as a reminder. Sure. All right. So spend 1 clue, draw 2 cards. So if each surviving investigator has 10 or more cards in his or her hand, immediately advance. So somebody all right. So we need to do a couple more if we can. And we need 10 or more cards. So we need to get rid of these cruel things that are causing us issues. So we can go 2 versus... Commit that to go 4 versus 2. 6 versus 2. We get a 0. So 1 cruel interrogations is out of the way. And then we can Pathfinder. Let's Pathfinder here. Now... Oh, this guy has Hunter, so he should be moving up. Okay, so we'll assume that he... How many? 1, 2, 3... Yeah, he's engaged with us by now, for sure. Missed his Hunter keyword. So he has Hunter. We will have to deal with him. So we are at 3 versus 3. This should be flipped, and there should be a clue there. Okay. We will go. So what do we need to do here? It's 4. Okay. So we are at 3 versus 3. And I need to hit him twice. Evading him is not a good option because we want to kill this guy. We could take an attack of opportunity. Let's take an attack of opportunity to go. She will take the horror, and I will take the damage. To go play our beat cop. That gives us another one, so we're at 4 versus 3 now. And I need to hit it twice. Okay, 4 versus 3, we get a -2. 4 versus 3, we get a -5. Okay, so we're going to take some damage. So this girl will die. And we draw another beat cop. That's very nice. Roland draws a beat cop, and Joe draws a machete. Okay, so we go to the Mythos phase. We are advancing. So shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. If the custodian is in play and not controlled by investigator, that is not true. Each investigator with the pendant draws 2 cards. Each investigator with the pendant ignores any effect that would reduce his or her maximum hand size. I believe that we have a pendant in our... somebody has a pendant. Is it Roland? Let me check here. I believe it's Roland has the pendant. Yes, Roland has the pendant. So Roland will ignore effects that... so he gets to draw 2 cards. Oh, a vicious blow and an overpower. Very nice. And he gets to ignore any effect that would reduce his maximum hand size. So once he hits 10, if we can both hit 10, we immediately advance. So Joe has some work to do. We got to shuffle. Okay, we've done that. Now we replace this. So Joe's hand size is now 4. But he has 4 clues, so if we can get rid of the cruel intentions, he can spend a clue to draw 2 cards, which would put him at 5. Spend a clue to draw 3 cards, so he could spend 3 clues and put himself at 8. Put himself at 10. Okay, we need to do a mythos phase first, though. Roland draws Lost Humanity. That is going to be 5 willpower. I don't think we're going to go insane, but I don't really like this either. Unfortunately, I don't have any icons to commit to this. I could remove the 5 cards from the game. Yeah, we'll use the shortcut. So we'll add 2. So we'll go 4 versus 5. Chaos Bag says 0, so we only remove 1 card. That's nice. So we remove 1 card from the game, and it is a shortcut. So that ended better than I thought it was going to. And Joe draws that nasty piece of work. Yeah, that's bad. I don't have anything I can do with that. So he's probably going to lose some cards here. So we're going 2 versus 0, and I have nothing I can contribute to that. So Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so our total is 0, so we lose everything. Yikes. So he's going to have to rebuild his hand or go insane, and then Roland can pass us, can win the game. All right. It's turn 13. We are going to go... so he needs to... So he could draw 2, 4, 6... so he gets a card because of the custodian. There's his Colts. Let's do Roland first. Roland is going to kill this guy. We're going to commit the Overpower and the Vicious Blow. So we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Two, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10 versus 3. We draw 0, so we get a card, which is his gun, and we deal 3 damage, and then we will tag the Beat Cop to kill it. And then we can Pathfinder to here. Then we can... I mean, do we go the other way? Do we go for the 6? Just always worry about this stage of the game because I can get 4 safely. 4 isn't great, but it's better than 3. Or we could go down. We could go down here, I think, and get one more before we head over there. So we could Pathfinder here, move here, the observer in the... Oh yeah, he does gain Hunter. Okay, just a sec. So he would have... he would be there. He would have hunted that turn. So he would be here. Okay. Okay, so Roland has some work to do here. We have 2 actions remaining. We can hit it for 2 and then 2. We go 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 8 versus 4. Eight versus 4. Chaos Bag says Elder Sign. That's a +2, and we draw a card. So he takes 2 damage. Let's try it for the 3rd time. And so if we hit it one more time, we'd kill it, and then we could actually go deal with the deconstruction room, I think. That might actually be something worth trying. Because then we could get 5. We could get the deconstruction room and the interview and be done. So we just need to hit him. That's the issue. All I have to pitch is the beat cop. 4, 5, 6 versus 4. Yep, 6 versus 4. Chaos Bag says skull. That's a -1. Whoo! We get a clutch -1 there, and we defeat the observer. So he is in the victory display. Oh, that's a relief. And now we can Pathfinder over actually to the deconstruction room. So we can set that up. We could almost do that without Roland having to be there, or without Joe having to get the clues. It'd be 5 difficulty. We'd be 3, but we could commit Inquiring Mind for 6. It would be 9 versus 5. No, I don't think we need to do that. We can go... Roland can get there. Joe can get there quickly. So he Pathfinders over. He will move 1. And then he will investigate 6 versus 3. Chaos Bag says -1, so we get a clue. And another resource. And we go again 6 versus 3. We get a 0. So we grab another clue. And we clear that location so we can set up a big... Oh no, we want one clue there. Sorry. No, we're not going to do that because we need a clue there. Because we want to play our Inquiring Mind there to go 6 versus 4. Or, sorry, 9 versus 4. Which should be enough next turn. So... we need to get rid of this card that's preventing us from drawing. Two versus 2. Does he have anything? He could go 4 versus 2, but that's a pretty important card. Let's just go 2 versus 2. We get an Elder thing. If you fail, place one of your clues on your location. Yeah, that sucks. So we'll have to do that again next turn. So we're in a position to get our 4th. We get a Calling in Favors from Roland. So we could probably bounce our Beat Cop back. And Joe got the Deduction, level 2. And we go to the Mythos phase. Roland draws a Locked Door, which is going on this place. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks. Because we're at 3 versus 4. Joe draws... Ah, for Pete's sakes. Another Cruel Interrogations. Okay. That sucks. That kind of screwed everything up again. We could just go for it without the clues. If we commit, I need to rebuild Joe's hand though. That's the problem. 9 versus 5. Oh, 9 versus 6. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go for it. We'll go 9 versus 6. Chaos Bag. +1. Okay. Finally, some luck here. So we've got 4 now. Okay, so we've got 4. can Pathfinder. And then move twice. 1, 2. Joe can Pathfinder. And then move twice. No, I have he Pathfinders. Moves. And then do we try to break it? Oh, they both should have drawn a card from the custodian. He gets that and he gets that. Okay. Problem is I gotta beat 2 of those things. We'll stop here and we're gonna try to go 2 versus 2. We get a 0. Awesome. Okay, so we broke a Cruel Interrogations. Good stuff. All right. Joe gets a take the initiative. Roland gets his weakness. Chronophobia. We go to the Mythos phase. Roland draws the Scientist of Yith. He goes to the Laboratory of the Great Race. And we have activated the device and discarded and dissected an organ. So he will gain Hunter. And Joe gets an offer of power. He will take the 2 horror. Okay. Not too bad. All right. So I think as Joe's first action, he is going to use take the initiative on the Cruel Interrogations. So we go 2, 6 is 8 versus 2. Chaos Bag says Skull. That is a -1. So we get rid of that Cruel Interrogations. We Pathfinder to here. We move to here. And we draw a card. Roland's going to use 2 actions to get rid of the Chronophobia. He will Pathfinder to here and then move to here. The Hunter will chase us to here, and we go to the next phase. All right. Roland draws Joe draws a Steadfast, and Roland draws his Astounding Revelation. Wow. But that's all that counts. So Roland has to discard a card. Let's discard. No, we want to keep that. 5 versus 14 is 8. What's the test here? Strength or intellect? We've got the intellect covered. I'm going to drop this. Steadfast, though, has willpower skill icons. Shortcut, because we're not planning to move. I don't think. We might move back to the orrery if we need to, but I think we can end it here if we just draw enough cards. We go to the Mythos phase. Have I stopped streaming? That's a good question. No, says everything's fine. All right, well. Okay, so we will 3 of 7. Roland draws a Rotting Remains. We have something to deal with that, so we will go 2 versus 3. Chaos Bay gives us a -2, so we're going to take 3 horror, but we're going to use this to prevent 2, and the beat cop will take 1. And then we will go Joe. Joe gets a Scholar from Yith. Okay, right. Everybody gets a card from the Observer. He gets a Guts. Roland gets a Guts, and he gets an Inquiring Mind. All right, so we just need to get enough cards in our hand. So he can have up to 8, but then we can... So I think Roland engages the Scholar as his first action. Then he goes 4 versus 2. Yeah, 4 versus 2. Chaos Bag says -2, so he kills it. And I think he draws a card. Draws another Guts. So he'll get 1 more card next turn, so he'll have 10. We just need to make sure that Joe can do it. Joe is going to get 1 card from the Custodian, so that'll put him at 5. Then he can spend clues, and he will be at... he'll need to spend 3 clues, and that'll draw him 6 cards, and that will be the game. So we just need to get this one. So intellect or to interrogate. We will commit the deduction to go 6. So he is 2, 3, 4... plus another 4 is 8 versus 4. He'll commit 2 more to go 10 versus 4. Chaos Bag says +1. So we have got the 5th one. That was his first action. All right. We've got 5 of them. So far, so good. Okay, so we just need to get through this turn. I can't draw... I don't want to draw cards because that's going to hurt me. I'm just going to end up discarding them anyway. Is there anything I can do that's useful? I'll just use my last 2 actions. I'll just drop them. Okay, so we go to the enemy moves. He hunts. We go to upkeep. Joe takes a horror and reshuffles, and he draws a Eureka. And Roland draws a logical reasoning. He's got guts, logical reasoning. So if we draw anything that's... now, all we need to do is survive this Mythos phase. They'll each get a card from the Custodian. We need to discard one. I think it's got to be the Eureka. The Eureka, though, gets me a card if it's successful. Inquiring Mind. Yeah, that's got to go, because that doesn't do us any good. So, if we survive this Mythos phase, we can end the game next turn. Let's see how we do. 4 of 7. Turn 17. Wow. Roland draws a Dissonant Voices. No assets or events. That's fine. And Joe draws an Obscuring Fog. So that's fine too. So we go to our turn. Each player gets a card from the Custodian. Roland draws, takes his turn. He needs to draw 2 cards. And Joe needs to take the action on the Act 3A 3 times. So he gets 6 cards. So he spends a clue and gets 3 cards. He spends a clue and gets 3 cards. One of them is his weakness. But he's at 10 anyway. So both of them have 10 cards in hand, so we finish. If each surviving investigator has 10 or more cards in his hand, immediately advance. We advance to Act 3B. We get R1. Back to the Future. And that is it. Roland and Joe actually had a good game together for once. Despite that spate of bad luck during the middle section where we were drawing more -5s and auto fails than I care to count, yeah, we managed to pull out a victory here. We killed all the enemies we needed to kill. We drew the cards we needed. We finished off the process. So let's check the... thanks, Marcus. That's yeah, it's nice to have a good game for a change where we're not where poor Roland and Joe are not getting crushed. Yes, it did get better by the end. It did get better by the end. We had a few good Mythos phases where we didn't draw enemies and whatnot, so we were able to get ourselves in a better position to finish it all off. Let's check the rules. So I don't think we ended up with a great deal of VPs, unfortunately. We ended up with 2, I know for sure, because we ended up with 2 Yithian observers in the victory display. But we left clues on... Oh, we got 1 here, so we got 3. We didn't get 1 there or there. So we got 3. Not amazing or anything, but I'll take the 3. So let's see what we get. We got our 1. Hopefully we don't have to stay Yithians, because we did well enough. So, R1, check the number of tasks. If all 6 were completed, record in your campaign log the process was perfected. Each investigator earns 4 bonus experience as he or she gains insights into the secrets of the earth. If 5 tasks were completed, record in your campaign log the process was successful. Each investigator earns 2 bonus experience points as he or she gains insight. So we get 5 apiece. That's not bad. That's not bad for a scenario. If 4 tasks were completed, the process backfires. If 3 tasks were completed, the process backfires spectacularly. So we check our campaign log. If all the following are true, the lead investigator, there are 2 or more tokens in the chaos bag. We rescued Alejandro, and the custodian was under our investigator's control. So we record that Alejandro remembers everything. We get to add one tablet token to the bag for the rest of the campaign, but we did rescue Alejandro. So there we go. We end up with 5 VPs apiece, and we rescued Alejandro, and we add a tablet. So 5 VPs, rescued Alejandro, add tablet. So good stuff, and it only took us 17 turns, which is a long game by standards, but that will do it. So thanks very much, everyone, for showing up for today's stream. I'm glad that Roland and Joe did better on this. I think this is probably, besides Doom of Esley, this is the scenario that they have done the best on. I think it helped that we got set up and we got our Pathfinders out. We got some weapons. Joe got all of his... he got Dr. Mylan, he got 2 magnifying glasses and the tarot card, so he was investigating like a boss. And we managed to come out with 5 VPs to spend. So that's great. Unfortunately, and we even cleared cover up, which is that's just a nice little cherry on top. Unfortunately, we go back to playing Roland and Joe, not their Yithian selves, next game, and Roland still has that 2 mental trauma, so we need to try to make sure we can shore that up a little bit before we head into the depths of Yoth. But yes, very happy with how things went tonight. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Thanks everybody for coming by. It's always appreciated to have you in the chat, keeping me honest as we play. There's lots going on in these games sometimes, and it's easy to forget stuff, and it's great to have you along for the ride. I will be back. I believe I am recording something with patron Robert Bout on Sunday, so we will have that for you. I'm going to have the playthrough of Waking Nightmare coming up in the next couple days, and my reviews for the cards in the Search for Kadath will be posted early next week. So lots of Arkham Horror content to look forward to, and I hope you will stay tuned for that. So with that, take care, and we'll see you again soon. That's going to do it for this stream. If you enjoy what you hear, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to become a patron of the channel, head over to patreon.com, sign up for a tier of your choice, and claim your rewards. That would be awesome to support the channel, and you can even join me for a playthrough if that's something that you would like to do. If you need to contact me, I could be reached at manfromleng@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at manfromleng. Until the stars are right, keep your shotgun close and your elder sign closer. Take care out there, and happy investigating.